Hello paper crafters! Although it is snowing outside again, I would still like to share with you a spring card that can also be used as an Easter card or children's card or a pregnancy card. I am featuring poppystamps dies today. So now let's move on to a step-by-step tutorial. To begin with, I have pre-cut and pre-folded a side-folding card base out of white cardstock. Then I'm going to cover up the entire card front using a piece of teal patterned paper. I'm using some tape adhesive to attach it. As always, all the tools and supplies I'm using will be listed on my blog as well as in the description box below. Next, I have used the two largest dies from Rectangle Basics die set by Memory Box to cut out this thin frame out of white cardstock. And now I'm using a little bit of liquid adhesive to attach it to a piece of vellum that is also 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. I'm placing a negative cutout inside the frame, and then I'm going to position a die on top that die cuts out triple heart frames. I'm sending both pieces through the die cutting machine, and that is going to allow me to cut out 3 windows in the vellum panel, and I will also cut out 3 white frames all in one go. So this is what my project looks like at the moment. Next, I'm going to apply a thin 1/8 inch double-sided tape all around the frame at the wrong side, and I'm going to attach this entire panel to a piece of acetate that is 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. In fact, you don't have to use the acetate at all for this project. I just didn't think of it at that moment. What I would recommend to do to create this card is to attach this vellum panel right onto the teal card base. It would be really easier that way. But anyway, let's move on. Now I'm applying some glue at the wrong side of each frame, and I'm sticking them down inside the vellum windows. The die cuts fit right inside, and I'm also using an acrylic block to hold them down until the glue dries. When all 3 frames are attached, I'm gonna go ahead and create the background. This die is called Tall Sketch Daisies. It's super intricate and very delicate. After releasing all the die cuts from that piece of cardstock, I'm going to create 2 more die cuts to be able to cover up the entire card front. I wouldn't like those flowers to overlap the windows that I have already created, so I'm cutting off some pieces from the die cut, and I'm going to stick them down onto the vellum one by one. Some will go below the windows, and the top of the flowers are gonna go above the windows. As I'm attaching the flowers, I'm trying to apply as little glue as possible, and this way the vellum is not going to be warped. The adhesive I'm using is Ranger Multimedia Matte. It contains little liquid indeed, and that also keeps the vellum from warping too much. Next, I'm going to add a little bit more color to my card, so I've die cut the triple heart frame again out of gray cardstock as well as out of yellow. Now I'm applying glue onto the gray frames, and I'm attaching them right on top of the white ones. And this is how I'm changing their color. I will attach all 3 frames, and then I'm moving on to the yellow die cuts. I'm simply applying some glue inside the hearts, and then I'm using my pickup tool to place the yellow hearts inside. I'm using the opposite end of my Crystal KATANA pickup tool to push the die cuts into the frames and make sure they really stick to the background. Now it's time to add some little images inside the windows. I'll be using 2 tiny die sets. They are called WHITTLE Eggs and WHITTLE Ducks. I've die cut the duckling as well as the mid-size egg 3 times, and now I'm simply attaching the ducklings on top of the eggs, as if they are actually inside those eggs. Now I have to attach those eggs right behind the windows, and the acetate actually makes it harder, and this is why I recommend not using it. But anyway, how I did it is I have applied the double-sided tape at the wrong side of the eggs. Then I'm going to take some glue dots and I'm going to attach them to the right side because they are repositionable. And now I'm attaching the glue dots to the acetate. Then I'm going to place this entire piece onto the card front to stick the eggs to the background. So I hope this demonstrates how you can avoid a lot of extra work just by giving the project a bit of thought from the beginning. But anyway, I managed to do it, and now the eggs are located right behind the windows. So I have applied the double-sided adhesive again at the wrong side of the frame, behind the white die cuts, so nothing is showing through the vellum. And now I'm attaching this entire piece onto the card front. So that finishes my project for today. Although there is a lot of texture, the card is still flat enough to be mailed. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you back really soon. Bye bye!